talking Detroit Lions mini camp. What took place on day 2? A lot of good. And Jameson Williams impresses. He's getting better. It's looking really good. A lot of players looking damn good. Lions are going to have a good 2022 NFL season. Let's freaking go. Hey, I've been saying just chill with the Jameson Williams talk. Everything will be fine, and it's looking like that is the case right now because a lot of observations were taking place, and one of the biggest observation was the fact that Jameson Williams was absolutely dominating. Now, he was going against some second stringers, so you expect it, but he was absolutely amazing in his practice yesterday. He was repping with the second team offense, but on Thursday, he did exactly what the 12th overall pick should do. He dominated the backups. In 11-on-11 drills, the offense started at the 30 to the 35-yard line, where Williams immediately kicked the drive off by back-to-back catches from Nate Sudfeld. That's funny, by the way, combined with Sudfeld. Combined with 36 yards, Sudfeld went back-to-back to him pass, beating Starling Thomas, the rookie there. Later in practice, worked out in red zone opportunities. Offense started at the 10-yard line with 10 seconds, scored a touchdown. First team offense struggled to find the end zone with 8 guys in coverage, several just waiting on the goal line. But the very next play of the season, second team, Williams bursted open end zone and got an easy touchdown. Jameson Williams is doing exactly what we want him to do, and it's just going to take time for cohesion. This guy, when him and Jared Goff are going to be on the same page, it's going to be absolutely amazing. He is bringing a different dynamic that we've not had in some time at the wide receiver position, even though we got damn good wide receivers. I mean, great position, but when you have that difference maker, it just elevates everything else, and then it opens up for everybody else as well. So it's a good sign. I've been saying this, not too worried about it. So, shout out to JMO for getting it done. Let me know in the comments section. Are you excited to see what Jameson Williams can do when he is not suspended? Let me know in the comments below, because I've been talking about Jameson Williams for a while, and it's one of those things where I feel like he's getting a little bit, messed with by the media more than he should be. During 11-on-11 drills, we get to Jahmyr Gibbs here. He took a slant, extending the catch, and it likely would have been taken to the house for a 40-yard gain, beating out the linebackers in coverage, splitting defensive backs later in 7-7. He clearly beat Jalen Reeves-Maven for another huge gain. One important note, now Gibb, during the section of positional drills, the quarterback working slowly with the receivers, while tight ends and running backs are the other end of the field. See, he's getting a lot of time at the wide receiver position, something that we've seen in OTAs and a minicamp day 1, and he's going to be utilized all over the field. He got back with Jared Goff, stepped in, and made sure he was throwing to 5 specific players in rotation: Khalif Raymond, Jameson Williams, Monroe St. Brown, Marvin Jones, and Jahmyr Gibbs, and the tight ends as well. So you're already seeing that Jared Goff is going after Gibbs. He's going after Laporta, and these rookies are making an impact, and this is what we're going to see on Sundays. We're going to see him utilize these players to his advantage and to distribute the football to your playmakers. That's what good quarterbacks do. I keep hearing this idea, well, it's the system about Jared Goff. Okay, I understand the system is great, and there's absolutely no doubt about it that Ben Johnson's system is quarterback-friendly. That's what you want. You want your quarterback to just distribute it to your playmakers. You don't need to be the guy to make the big play every single time. You have players on this offense that we drafted. Give them the football, they're playmakers. That's what good quarterbacks do. Can't hate on Jared Goff for doing that. Some of you just can't hate on. He's getting it done, and it's going there. So, look, I'm not a homer for Goff. I'm not a hater for Goff. But at the same time, you got to give credit where credit's due. All you need to do is distribute the football. You don't need to be doing nothing crazy, and you got playmakers all over this offense you got to get it to. Cornerback Starling Thomas did really well, and this is a player that you're not hearing a whole lot about, but now He's been making a little bit of noise as of late, so it's really nice. He went man-on-man against Jameson Williams for much of the day, and he had some good battles with him. He tailed at least 2 pass breakups while in coverage, although he likely would have been called for at least 2 penalties on the day as well. Still, the undrafted rookie to be involved in some serious battles with the first-round talent is impressive, and that is very impressive. And a couple of my subscribers have been saying, watch for Starling Shepard to make the football team. Shout out to you guys. This is awesome to see that these undrafted guys are battling out with everybody. This is what happens when you have good scouts, great depth. And it's going to be difficult to see who makes the team, and maybe he does make the team. Maybe he beats out a Chase Lucas or someone like that. And look, if he beats him, he beats him. Another undrafted guy like Jerry Jacobs. I love it. He also closed in the practice with an interception. The Lions were a little more shorthanded on the defense as usual. Jerry Jacobs sat out most of the second part of practice, so Thomas got a little run to the first-team defense. They're in 7-on-7 drills with the first-team offense, but against the third-team offense. Thomas jumped in front of Adrian Martinez's pass and clean interception where he read the quarterback's eyes perfectly. Due to his elite athleticism on special teams, Thomas has already been identified as a rookie undrafted free agent who cracked the 53. Absolutely, he can crack the 53. If he's doing this against quarterbacks of Sudfeld and Martinez is okay. And he gets opportunity at the first team, because if he keeps playing like this, you got to see what he can do against Jared Goff, and he's great at special teams. There you go. You make it over Chase Lucas. It's simple as that. That's the way it should be. James Houston blowing up minicamp. Did it again. Houston was repping with the third-team defense, though. Whether this is a motivational tactic or simply Dan Campbell prioritizing seniority remains to be seen, but during Wednesday's practice, Houston did exactly what he did the second half of last season, wreaking havoc. Beto Benaeze, he nearly had 3 sacks in one drive. James Houston making this team for sure, and it's not a fluke what he did last year, because he's doing it right now in minicamp. Man, the sky's the limit for James. Sky is the limit for James, and I absolutely love this. That was a great draft pick by Brad Holmes there. And, one of the concerns people had was, is there going to be some second-year slumps? I'm not too concerned about that. The game's being elevated still. And, of course, my favorite, Kerby Joseph continues to be an absolute ball hawk in practice. On Saturday, play 11-on-11, Joseph looked like he was beat by Khalif Raymond deep, and while he was aided by a poor underthrow from Goff, Joseph made up in space in a hurry and picked off the pass. Later during the drills, Joseph jumped and passed 10 from Amon-Ra St. Brown and nearly had his second interception of the day. Probably would have had if St. Brown didn't haul in down before the pass came in. Kerby Joseph is such a steal from last year's draft. It is absolutely incredible that he fell to the Lions so far in the draft. And he is now, to me, he's like my Amon-Ra St. Brown of the defense. The guy is just a ball hawk. He's ball hawk in college, ball hawk now. It's awesome to see the development of Kerby Joseph and the swag that he brings. This secondary is going to be scary. And I made a video talking about the secondary could be best in the NFL. Stick it to it. Marvin Jones Jr. impressing. Love hearing about Marvin Jones Jr. He's the only person that looked more natural and smooth running routes than Jones was Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jones is deliberate in every step, takes, and he's made chemistry between him and Jared Goff immediate. Jones did have a drop pass through traffic, but he made up for an impressive contested catch at the back of the end zone with the second-team offense. And this is what we expect with Marvin Jones Jr. I don't think anybody was worried about his ability to catch a football or specifically running routes. It was when will he and Jared Goff get on the same page? It's already happening. So he could be ahead of where DJ Chark was last year. It took him half the year. He's replacing DJ Chark. What he did, damn good for the Lions offense. Marvin Jones Jr., I loved him, getting him in free agency, coming back to the D. This is what you need to see. Absolutely awesome. Nate Sudfeld had a good day. He had decent command of the offense, arm strength that was anticipated. He had an absolutely beautiful touch pass to Tom Kennedy. He's the backup now, and it is just until Hooker gets ready. Broderick Martin had a nice pass breakup between 11 and 11. He was right in the face of Sudfeld. It's good to hear from Broderick Martin, and love it. I can't wait to see how the rotation goes and how much playing time he gets in the regular season. It's going to be really good to see. Stephen Gilmore, undrafted corner out of Marshall. I had one of the best defensive plays of the day. Looking down at Monroe St. Brown on a quick out, and got to have a play with the 1 yard and breaking up the pass with that 1 yard. So that's really good to see. The competition between all these players is absolutely stunning. Great depth. Undrafted guys battling out. Looking good. The talent on this football team is high. The 53-man roster is going to be interesting because there's going to be a lot of good players that don't make this team. I really cannot wait to see how this is used for the 53-man roster. What plays they specifically get to, and what players do make this squad. And the reasoning why. Because some of these guys will probably be nearly the same talent level, but maybe they pick the other guy because the development's a little bit higher, the ceiling's a little bit higher, or he's younger. But this is going to be really intriguing watching this 53-man roster play out when they do the cuts. Who makes it, who does not make it. Because a lot of players that we may like may not make the team, or some players that we may like because the depth's so damn good. So that's what happens when you're a good team. That's what happens when you're a good drafter. That's what happens when you can evaluate talent and bring talent to your team. So great to see. We'll get into day 3 of minicamp today, see what they do. With that said, folks, adios. Have a great day.